Constancy triumphs over sudden brilliance in all campaigns I have observed. My main rule: steady effort wins where talent alone falters. Daily action builds discipline, morale, and position, hence outcomes compound. I will show 3 practices that endure and bind men to purpose. You now chase spectacle, you after 30 days own a steadfast march. Begin with disciplined repetition to make habit the servant of purpose. Do set a fixed hour for study and preparation each dawn. Do measure one task completed daily, however slight, and record it. Do delegate a small burden, review the result each evening, and keep promises to your men. Avoid 2 errors, frantic change and blind endurance. Test small changes, stop without purpose. Did a general once win by a single blade? I remember a commander who drilled his men each dawn for 6 months. Their victories came not from miracle but from 1,000 synchronized small moves. Takeaway: constancy made the army predictable in skill and deadly in timing. Measure progress plainly and without flattery. Count completed daily tasks, aim for 90 tasks in 90 days. You now doubt small efforts, you after 30 days stand upon steady ground. Do begin tomorrow, choose one task, perform it each dawn, and record truthfully. The leader's unseen steps determine the scale of future triumphs. I hold that steady, unseen work creates strategic depth no sudden act supplies. Do mark one small improvement each day and praise it to yourself. Do remove one needless task each week, freeing will for steady practice. Do teach a single truth to a novice, and repeat the lesson for 30 days. I declare, the unseen step determines the outcome of long campaigns. One daily ritual, repeated without fail, yields an influence stronger than any sudden genius or rare inspiration. Consistency converts intention into action, and action into advantage across seasons. As I promised earlier, I hold no secret now, I unveil practical paths for steady gain. Do choose one small task and perform it each dawn, before doubt grows. Do mark completion plainly, so your eye trusts the ledger and judges truth. List 3 obstacles and remove one before sunset each day, without debate. Ask your comrades to witness a single act weekly, and inscribe the result plainly. You now tremble at the first duty, you after 30 days carry calm momentum. Once a captain scarce of years began with a single scout report each dawn. He kept that habit through rain, through hunger, and through idle rumor without respite. At the season's turn his small reports revealed the enemy's weary flank, and victory followed. Takeaway: small daily witness unveils patterns larger forces cannot perceive. Mistake: seek broad triumphs each sunrise, this drains the will and scatters attention. Avoid it by narrowing aim, reduce scope to a single measurable task, and defend that boundary. Measure by counting days of completion, aim for 80% in 60 days, adjust as needed. Do begin now, write today's task, strike it when done, keep the record, and return tomorrow. A single lapse need not collapse months of labor. Plan swift resets to reclaim momentum after every failure. Do accept the lapse within minutes, do not allow self-blame. Do reset the ledger and resume the ritual at next dawn. Do this now, set a 2-minute reset, then return to task. Consistency is the greater blade than sudden genius. One steady act each day shapes the fate of a command. Small motions compound, and rarities squander strength and clarity. I will reveal a simple test to prove habit's permanence. You after 30 days will stand upon a different plane. As promised earlier, I show how to bind habit to ritual. Bind a clear ritual to the hour, repeat it without flourish. Record one metric each day, and display it simply. Meet briefly to state intention, keep the meeting under 10 breaths. Praise the smallest correct move before any larger reward. Forgive the first lapse, correct the method, then renew. Measure by frequency, seek 90% days kept within 30 days. I once advised a captain whose men collapsed after feasts. He required a single march of practice each dawn for 30 days. They mocked at first, then steadied, then moved as one. The true victory was a habit that bowed disorder. Takeaway: a leader's daily motion converts dream into ready habit. Do not chase rare inspirations, they break steady rhythm. Do not alter the hour often, anchor the act, then adjust slowly. Count days met, aim for 70 to 90% adherence in 1 month. Today, choose one small act and repeat it tomorrow. True endurance outlives any single leader. Embed the daily act into role, write, and record to carry it beyond one chest. Assign the act to a role, codify it in write, teach the successor, rotate custody weekly. You now set a single pattern, you after 90 days see successors perform it readily. Tomorrow, remove yourself for one turn and observe the act continue. Great conquests are born from unceasing small deeds. My rule: constancy outstrips sudden genius and fervor. This matters because a single triumph fades, while repeated acts build discipline and position. Set a simple task and do it daily, record completion at dusk, raise the standard by 5% each fortnight. You now depend on inspiration, but after 30 days you stand upon steady habit. A leader's small visible act teaches more than lofty decrees. Once I kept vigil and lit no trumpet, yet men rose to their posts by my single lamp. Night after night they came, each footfall steady as duty demanded. Takeaway: quiet, repeated proof summons imitation and steadies ranks. Light a lamp each night, note names of those who attend, reward continuity with praise. Recognize the common error of grand designs without minor repeats. Avoid them by requiring daily proof, by forgiving first faults, and by correcting the pattern gently. Measure progress, count days kept against target and increase by 10% monthly. As I promised earlier, keep your lamp tonight, record the act and bring the list to council at dawn. Stamina is conserved when duty is paced and renewed. If every man bears a constant burden, all will tire and fracturing will follow. Rotate tasks weekly, grant brief respite, train alternates to carry the same ritual. Measure readiness by 90% attendance across rotations each month, and begin this cycle tomorrow. Tonight I set a test that will reveal true constancy. The leader's unseen rituals become the law of the camp. Practice a personal rite each dawn to bind your will to action. List 3 rites tonight, perform 1 at dawn, report the change after 7 days. Consistency is the lasting sword of command. One slow action each day will win wars where brilliance falters. A leader who acts daily forges habit into the host. The modest movement should be chosen and performed without fanfare. Do one clear task each dawn and finish it before noon. Set a daily measure that no man may alter or excuse. List 3 faults and 3 gains each evening without excuse. Rehearse the chosen motion until muscle and mind agree. Review the mark each week and renew or refine resolve. Once I taught novices to haul water to the camp. At first they scoffed, then they drew clearer lines in battle. Takeaway: small motions steady the troop until victory becomes routine. Mistake: chasing novelty and abandoning small duty for grand ventures. Avoid this by binding the task to hour and to solemn oath. Progress is counted by sustained days, with a goal of 30 consecutive days. You now labor alone, you after 30 days lead steadier ranks, I shall later reveal binding rights, begin now. To make constancy contagious, bind it to office and witness. Appoint a steward for the daily mark and hold him account. Require a public tally each 7th day before the host assembles. Reward the smallest steadiness with bread, praise, or assigned honor. When lapse occurs, treat it as a lesson, not as doom. A measured return beats frantic recovery that breaks the habit again. Confess the lapse openly and restore the small daily mark. Begin afresh tomorrow, repeat the first act, and record it. Discipline binds small acts into unbroken force. Hold this chief thought: steady strokes win where sparks fail. Daily repetition accumulates advantage, chance then has no purchase. Set one simple task for each dawn. Measure that task with honesty before nightfall. Renew the task when lapse shows itself. You now tend to grand plans, you after 30 days tend fields. Once I watched a young captain patrol the river nightly. His scouts mocked, his men grew weary, the enemy slipped close. When dawn came, the captain's report saved a village from ambush. Takeaway: small faithful acts avert great losses. Mistakes lie in fevered increase and in rigid sameness. Do not chase tasks beyond your means, pare them back. Do not guard ritual as law, adapt its heart to season. Count days kept, raise adherence by 5% each week. You after 30 days will hold habit like a sword, begin tonight. How does a leader bind others to steady course? I hold that example outlasts decree. When I walk the path, men follow without oath. Show your daily work, teach it small aims, invite correction. You after 30 days will see ranks doubled in resolve, test now. Do you honor pause as fully as march? I taught a general to schedule quiet weeks between campaigns, his men returned keener. Fix short recovery windows, record fatigue levels each week, shift load accordingly. Count completed cycles, confirm energy restored by 20% within 2 cycles. I once promised a secret: time yields to daily will. I now reveal the secret: keep one true task until it feels effortless. Choose one enduring aim, bind it to sunrise, guard its small victories. Take the micro-quest, name that aim tonight and begin at first light. Consistency is the slow blade that wins wars. Hold steady action above sudden genius. A single strike may surprise, but steady motion grinds resistance to dust. Do choose one aim and pursue it daily. List 3 small deeds to repeat at dawn. Once I sent a sergeant to shape a young soldier's morning habit. He stumbled for a week, then he rose without struggle. His platoon grew steadier because each man learned a small, shared task. Takeaway: do the smallest thing each morning, consistency will bind effort. I caution against 2 errors, haste and secrecy, correct them with slow disclosure. The measure is count, mark days kept, aim for 80% in 60 days. You now have a plan, you after 30 days will own habit. Do begin this hour, mark today, repeat tomorrow, report to one ally. Plateaus reveal the depth of a leader's resolve. I teach that steady repetition through quiet months preserves victory. Do lower the scale, but not the spirit. Do celebrate any forward motion, however slight. The leader's daily act summons allies to follow. I model small tasks and ask others to mirror them. Ask one follower to join your morning task. Keep them accountable by reporting weekly to each other. Purpose binds small acts into a singular march. I advise naming the future you seek so each deed points toward it. Do write one sentence of purpose, do match each daily deed to it, do review the list every 7th dawn. Now is the time to close the loop, recall the promise of endurance you heard earlier. Do this now, mark today, invite one ally, and keep the count. Small daily acts, done without fail, conquer what talent alone cannot.